The pre-holiday crime wave is in full swing. It's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, Ann Miller, comedian Jeff Altman, and singer Phyllis Hyman. Also, Paul Schaefer and the Band. And now, a man who thinks today's young people need a stern talking to, David Letterman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. My name is David Letterman. Today is Tuesday, November... What are we doing here?
18th,
November 18th. You mean we're halfway finished with November? That didn't take long, did it?
Not at all. It's painless.
Welcome, anyway, to what we think is just a wonderful show, or as best as we could do on short notice. No, it's a fine show. I'll tell you what, I'm a little confused now. Maybe you can help me out with this puzzle. I've got a luncheon date next week with the president of North Korea, and I don't know if I should make other plans or I just... Is the guy alive now or dead now? We don't know. Nobody knows. Oh, well, the New York Times had an interesting poll in this morning's paper. Did you see this, Paul?
The poll in the Times this morning? No, I missed it, actually.
Yeah.
Spelled coffee on that. It was spelled coffee right on that part of the Times.
Yeah, I see. It was the top 3 worries of New York City teenagers. You know, I guess viewing around the other parts of the country, you're not aware, really, of the pressure and the sociological angst that people here in New York City feel. But these are the top 3 concerns of New York City teenagers. One, of course, would be school. Number 2, obviously, probably relationships. I can agree with that. And the third worry of New York City teenagers, whether or not they'll be tried as adults. So, well, I look like I just woke up, don't I? It's the hair. You know, I still haven't got a fix on this hair, Paul.
I think it's coming in quite nicely.
Is it all right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this was a landmark Freedom of Information Act case. The Supreme Court yesterday ruled that New York State does not, now, they do not have to furnish home phone numbers of female lottery winners to Klaus von Bülow. Boy, I thought that was... Kevin, get out the really funny jokes. Where are they? Where do you keep the real blockbusters, Kevin? Downstairs. Kevin left them in his car. Kevin brings these in with him from home every day. Yeah. What are we doing here, Paul? Let's go.
We're doing a show, yeah. We're doing a crazy show. We're doing an up-tempo kind of a show. We're doing a nutty show. We're doing a kind of thing called the David Letterman Show.
That didn't help.
Are we?
No, that didn't help.
We're not?
On the program tonight, on the broadcast, on tonight. Do you understand what we're doing here? We're in a tiny little room in the center of Manhattan in New York City, and we're doing a program that soon will be broadcast all over the free world.
They don't care.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I have a freshly pressed coat on. On the program tonight, the one that's soon to be broadcast all over the free world, Ann Miller is here, Jeff Altman, and Phyllis Hyman, ladies and gentlemen. And now, Phil. Are we still doing the jingle nonsense? Here it is, my favorite part of the show. There you go. That's worth the price of admission, isn't it?
Thank you very much. And now back to you in the audience.
Thank you so much.
David
Thank you,
Letterman.
thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Tonight we're up here visiting with audience members, and the category for tonight's visit is Brush with Greatness. Do you understand how this works? If at some point in your life before now you've had an encounter with a famous person or an infamous person, you'll tell us about it now, and I believe we've had these enhanced by the writers. Is that correct? Embellished by our fine staff of young writers. Is there a Larry Dingman in the crowd? Larry Dingman. Apparently he's not here, so... But you do not need to be present to win, so we'll mail the gift certificate to Larry Dingman's home. No, he's... Hi, Larry. How are you?
Hi.
Nice to see you. Where are you from, Larry?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, one of the great cities in North America, isn't it?
It truly is.
Now, is it true, Larry, that there are more fountains in Kansas City than in Rome?
It's all true.
It is all true. What do you do for a living in Kansas City?
I work for an airline.
Can you mention the airline? Can you mention the airline?
Sure. TWA.
TWA. You know, I've flown on the TWA.
I know you have.
Yeah. How do you know that?
Because I have friends that have had you on airplanes before.
What do you mean by had me on airplane?
As a gracious guest.
Larry, what do you do for the airline, Larry?
I'm a flight service manager.
Flight service manager. What does that mean? You make sure everything is ready to go when they close the doors?
Everybody eats.
Everybody eats?
Yeah.
So you're on board, or you're loaded? You actually fly then, don't you? Okay. Larry, tell us about your brush with greatness.
Well, years ago, I had Barbara Streisand on an airplane from L.A. to New York, and
Now, is she a nice woman?
she's an extremely nice
Yeah.
woman.
She's not temperamental and kind of...
No, she was the exact opposite.
Very nice woman. Okay.
And she had a couple of big dogs with her.
What kind of dogs?
One big Samoyed
Yeah.
mother and something else that I
Yeah.
really can't remember.
A Samoyed mother?
Yeah, well,
now, did these dogs fly in the passenger section?
they sure
Now,
did.
you can't do that. I have dogs, and nobody ever lets me bring them on under the passenger part of the
When
plane.
you're Barbara Streisand, you bring
Oh, now, don't tell
whatever
me
you
that,
want.
Larry.
Yeah.
You really? The dogs were, like,
The
running up
dogs
and
are,
down
like,
the aisle?
Running right, I mean, they're right there at her seat, you bet.
Eating food off everyone's tray?
Well, we try to refrain from that.
Okay, there's more to the story, right? Barbara
Okay,
Streisand
it
and
got
her dogs?
really nasty and really bumpy.
Turbulence?
Turbulence, yeah, and kind of nasty, and I'm kneeling down by her seat to say something stupid like, don't worry, it's fine.
You talking to her or the dogs now, Larry?
To her,
I'm talking to her.
But the dog talked back. He leaned over and threw up on my leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but there's more to this, isn't there, Larry, than what you've told us so far?
Funny you should ask,
All right.
Dave. Later in the flight, I stopped to check on Miss Streisand, and the dog seemed fine, but she was feeling kind of queasy from the in-flight meal of beef stroganoff. Another accident occurred. I could have gotten that uniform clean, but for me, it'll always be a cherished moment.
Ooh, brother. What do we have here for Larry?
A winter hat filled with homemade chocolates.
Oh, boy.
Is that the chocolate you just got from the other guy?
No. We're not recycling audience gifts here. Now, this is an NBC stocking cap filled with chocolates. I can't vouch for the quality, but... Oh, those aren't bad. There you go, Larry.
Thanks.
Nice meeting you. Have a good career. Lisa Berger. Do we have a Lisa Berger? Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good.
Nice to see you. Where are you from?
I'm from Huntington, Long Island.
And do you live and work in Huntington, or live there and work here?
I work here.
What kind of work do you do?
Sales
What kind of sales do you do?
in the garment district.
Garment district? And is that retail, wholesale? What do you do?
Wholesale.
And is that exciting work?
Yes.
How long have you been doing that?
A year.
And what kind of garments are we selling?
Sportswear.
And is this some of the things you might be selling?
No.
Okay. Lisa, tell us about your brush with greatness.
Well, my sister dated Jerry Cooney a few years back.
Oh, boy. Now, that's pretty exciting, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's a big guy, and I didn't know who he was.
Mhm.
So when he came over the house, well, I saw he was this huge guy with a bunch of
Bruises.
gold. Yeah, you can say that. Gold boxing gloves. He had these huge gold
Yeah.
boxing gloves, and he had Passover dinner at our house.
Oh, that's very nice. Seemed like a nice enough guy?
Yeah, he seemed nice.
Yeah. But
Big.
there's probably more to this than you've told us, right?
Yes, there is,
All right, Lisa,
David.
go ahead and finish
well,
this one up.
one night, Jerry almost dropped my favorite Chicago album, and I yelled at him to be more careful. To my surprise, he fell to his knees and covered his head with his hands. Please don't hit me. The cowering giant whimpered.
No.
I'll do anything you say. I told him to get the hell out, and my sister never saw him again.
Oh, my. What an ugly story. There you go, Lisa. Stocking cap full of chocolates. The whole thing is yours. Thank you very much. Nice meeting you. Lisa Berger. Lisa was not thrilled with any aspect of that transaction. Is there a Bill Eisenberg here? Mr. Eisenberg. Bill Eisenberg. You left your lights on in the Pontiac. Bill. Oh, hi, Bill. How are you?
How you doing?
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you from, sir?
Great Neck, Long Island.
And you live in the city and live in Great Neck, work in the city?
Right.
Yeah, what kind of work do you do?
I'm a podiatrist.
Podiatrist, and that means you're handling feet all day, doesn't it? Now, do you like that kind of work?
Yeah, it's all right.
Really? Now, what happens? Somebody comes in with their feet, then what happens? You put on the rubber glove.
Put on the rubber glove.
Tell us, Bill, about your brush with, now, does this have to do with somebody's feet?
No, no.
Oh, good, all right.
A couple of years ago, late at night, I was driving in Midtown, and I was trying to run a light, turning from
Good.
the...
Good example for the kids watching tonight, Bill.
Right. So as I was running it, some guy darted out across from the street and started slamming his hands on my hood, screaming and cursing at me. And I was just about to get out of the car and let him have it when I saw it was Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis?
Yeah.
Television, motion picture star Jerry Lewis?
That's right.
All right. And then what happened?
Well, I just turned to my wife and said, "Hey, you're Jerry Lewis."
Yeah.
And finished cursing me out and
Go to the card now.
go to the card. Well, thinking quickly, I switched to a phony French accent and began calling Jerry a genius. He instantly became agreeable and offered me a job as a chauffeur, saying he would pay me with what he called telephone money.
That's the ugliest. Whoever is responsible for this will dismiss them immediately following the show. Thank you very much. There's your stocking cap full of chocolate, sir. Nice meeting you. Bill Eisenberg, a podiatrist. You all right? All right. We have to do a commercial. We'll be right back here with Ann Miller, Jeff Altman, and Phyllis Hyman. Oh, stop it. Thank you very much. Hi. Oh, yeah, I'm Dave. Thank you. Welcome back to the program, folks. Jeff Altman is here, Phyllis Hyman, and Ann Miller, who you're going to meet in just a second. Everything all right with you, Paul?
Just fabulous.
Yeah. It's a great time of year in New York now, isn't it?
It's
exciting.
autumn in New York.
It's autumnal.
Why does it feel so inviting?
Are those song lyrics?
Autumn in New York.
Yeah. And in a couple of weeks, they'll light up that giant tree. You know how tall the tree is outside of Radio City?
This year?
Rockefeller Plaza?
How tall is it this year?
16,000 feet. 16,000 feet tall. Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Every time that tree goes up,
yeah, it
makes me feel very, very old.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, because I've been working in this building for
a long time.
12 years now. And every year the tree goes up, and every year it's just a huge traffic jam in Rockefeller
Yeah,
Center.
but you shouldn't feel old because you're truly one of America's most beloved entertainers.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I feel the same way about you.
Oh, thanks, Paul. Thank you very much.
And about Ann Miller.
But, you know, you'll see plenty of footage of the tree on television and news reports, and when they light it up, you'll see all of that. So don't come into the city. And if you do come into the city, don't bring your car, okay? Just...
Please.
From the home office in Milwaukee, do we have time to do this now, or should we bring out Ann Miller? Because I know Ann Miller is eager to come out here. She's a trooper, in the truest sense of the word.
Certainly is.
From the home office in Milwaukee, after the first of the year, of course, they're moving to Scottsdale, Arizona, but that's not our problem. Here we go. Tonight's category, top 10 complaints about the new Bruce Springsteen album set. Number 10, new song, Hats Off to Factory Owners, a disappointing new direction. Number 9, Hand Puppet Lamb Chop, over-mic'd and duet. Number 8, record number 5, mostly recipes. Number 7, liner notes, actually synopsis of Old Trapper John MD episode. I'm very close to calling this one off. One more, if it doesn't work, tell Anton we're not doing it tonight. Number 6, wife Julianne's horrible screeching on Give Peace a Chance, Mars Side 2. You're lying. Number 5, Clarence Clemens tribute to Edith Piaf, a bad idea. Number 4, master of pan flute, Zamfir, buried in the audio mix. Number 3, loudmouth friends come over and sing along with Thunder Road till 4 in the morning. Number 2 confesses to a series of unsolved murders on side 6. I don't know. I guess I might as well finish it. We're 9/10 of the way
Oh,
there.
yeah. As they say on the West Coast, go for it.
They say that on the West Coast?
They do. Last I was out there, they
They said go for it. All right, here we go. The number 1 complaint about the new Bruce Springsteen album set. Box set too bulky to slip down shirt. Thing's not working. Ping pong machine's not working. Thank God this is not an airplane. We'd have to circle now and dump fuel and make an emergency landing. Mighty quiet in here. Our first guest tonight started her career in Hollywood at the age of 11.
Wow.
And went on to star in such motion pictures as Room Service with the Marx Brothers, You Can't Take It With You, On the Town, and the list goes on and on and on, as they say on talk shows. She also spent 7.5 years doing a Broadway show called Sugar Babies, and she holds the record as the fastest tap dancer in the world. Please welcome Ann Miller.
Hi, Ann.
Nice to see you. How are you? Ann Miller. Nice to see you.
Well, it's lovely to see you.
You're
Dave.
really all dressed up. Did you dress up just for the show, or you?
Well, I thought I'd look nice
Well, you
coming to
do.
see you.
You look great.
how nice you look.
Well, thank you. Let me see this bag. This is a thing of beauty. Are these?
I've had that for about 20 years. I got it on my first and only trip to Paris.
You've only
and,
been to Paris once.
Only once, yeah.
How long ago was that?
About 20 years ago.
Yeah. Would you like to go back?
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. Well, I don't know. I hear now there's a lot of trouble over there. They don't
Yeah.
like Americans anymore, and that's sad.
But they'd like you. You'd dance your
I
way
hope
into their
so.
hearts.
I hope so.
Now-
I'm so excited. I had lunch today. I have a very beautiful producer. Her name is Terry Allen Kramer, and she surprised me, and she's offered me the London company of Sugar Babies, and I have never, ever worked overseas, and that really excited me because the only thing is we're not sure Mickey's going to do it, and I adore Mickey Rooney. I don't know whether any of you do, but I think he's super.
Now, why wouldn't people adore Mickey Rooney?
I don't know, but you never know.
Yeah.
Everybody loves you, that's for
No,
sure.
they don't. Now,
Yeah, they do.
how long have
I do.
how long did you work with Mickey Rooney the first time?
7.5 years.
Oh my.
And I'd never worked with him before. We were both under contract to MGM, but I'd never worked with him before until Sugar Babies,
Yeah.
and we had a ball. He's a very good friend, and it was just one of those wonderful things where we set a record as the longest-running show with 2 stars in it, and the 2 original stars.
Right.
So I was very pleased about that, and it was tough, you
Yeah.
know, doing 8 shows a week, but it was exciting. With 3 years in New York, and we were 4.5 years on the road.
But he must have just driven you nuts.
Well, at times, yes, because he's not easy. You know, you never know what he's going to do. Well, like you never know what you're going to do. And sometimes he would throw me a curve, but he's funny. He's a funny man.
But occasionally you probably want to just drive an elbow right to the side of his head. Just boom.
Listen, there was a scene in the show where I had to hit him. I played a school teacher, and sometimes I'm telling you, David, I really belted him. I gave it to him, but I loved him, and we wound up.
He's just like a kid, isn't he?
He's like a big, overgrown kid.
Yeah.
He goes right out of the theater, goes home, goes to sleep, goes to the racetrack, or plays golf. That's his life.
Yeah.
And I very rarely saw Mickey during the daytime.
Now, and probably good advice for all of us. But I have no idea what that means. So now, if he doesn't take the job in London, will they get somebody to take his place?
I guess they'll probably get a British star.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
that
would
might be good.
Hope that he would.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So fantastic.
Now, speaking of kids, I find this unbelievable. This is a photograph of you and the Marx Brothers, and this was taken on, what was the movie? This is Room Service?
Was room service. I
And
was an old bag of 15 when I did it.
now, is this where you lied about your age and said you were actually...
I was RKO, and I fibbed about my age. I had to because I was discovered working in a nightclub when I was 11, And I had to tell them, they asked me how old I was, and I said I'm 18 because the boss of the nightclub was sitting at the table.
Yeah.
And Lucille Ball and Benny Rubin discovered me.
Now, what kind of things were you doing? Were you singing and dancing in a nightclub?
There was a big club in San Francisco. It was kind of the first of those Vegas syndrome, Bal Tabarin. And they had dinner first, and they watched this huge show.
Big supper club kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. And it was wonderful. And Mr. Rubin and Lucille Ball, she had a big film premiered up there, and they came in after the theater, and they saw me and fell in love with my dancing, and that's when Eleanor Powell was going so great, and they put me under contract.
Yeah, and you went out there, and what happened when you met the Marx Brothers? Did they know that you were just 15 years old?
I was an old, listen, I did New Faces, I did Life of the Party, Stage Door with Ginger Rogers, I was barred by Columbia for You Can't Take It With You, and I played the crazy sister of Gene Autry.
You were barred?
Barred from art.
Oh, barred.
I'm sorry, that's my Texas
I'm
accent.
sorry, I thought you said you were barred.
Barred from RKO to Columbia. And by the time I got around to doing room service, I'd been seasoned pretty well in
So at
film.
15, you'd done like a half a dozen films.
Just about.
Yeah.
And when I walked on the set and met the Marx Brothers, I had my mother with me. I'll never forget Groucho. The first thing, they said, this is Ann Miller, because I was going to be the ingenue lead, and he dropped his pants,
There
Groucho.
you go. Yeah.
Then Harpo chased me around the set with a horn.
Yeah.
I was so scared of those men, but they, they were great.
That's better than staying in school, that kind of thing.
Believe
Sure. We'll do a commercial here, and then we'll be back to talk some more with Ann Miller. Our friend Gabe Pressman waiting for some kind of a story to break loose downtown, and then they'll put him on the air, and he gets to pay for his trench coat. So now, did you, when you were just a kid, 15, 16, and you're in Los Angeles, that must have been very crazy, exciting times.
It was fun.
And you dated a lot of big shots, right?
Well, I did go out with Howard Hughes once, but it was...
How old were you by the time you went out with him?
Well, I was about 17.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I was just an old bat of 17.
And how old was Howard?
Well, he was probably in his 30s.
Yeah.
But he was a very strange man.
Now, did that strike you as being... at the time, did you think that was a considerable age difference?
Yeah, I did.
Now, what did your mom think of this?
Well, I think she thought it was all right because he was very handsome, he was very tall, but he called on me, and he was rich.
Yeah.
But anyway, he called on me, and I will never forget when
Where did
he
you
came in
live?
the door.
Where did you
I lived
live?
in the same house I'm in now on Alta Drive, and I opened the door, and he stood in these terrible-looking old tennis shoes and filthy, dirty shirt. I mean, just yuck,
Kind of a
and I
wreck.
said, look, I got dressed up for you. I don't think that's nice to come looking like that.
Yeah.
He said, wait a minute, don't close the door, wait. And he went out in this old beat-up Chevrolet, and he got a clean shirt and brought some shoes. He said, can I use your powder room downstairs? I said, fine.
Powder room?
Yeah, well, it's bathroom.
Oh.
Whatever. Anyway, put him on, put his shirt on, and he said, do I look okay now? And I said, fine. So we went out to a place called Perino's, and he didn't like the way they fixed the salad, so we went back in the kitchen and did the salad.
Yeah.
Then we got in this old beat-up car, and we went to Golan Studios, ran out of gas. Then we had to go and walk a mile and finally get a can of gas and then come back and put it in. Well, then we got to the studio finally. He showed me some rushes. And when I sat down, David, in his chair, all of a sudden, my feet went up in the air like that, like an airline, like Pan American with the overseas plane, scared me to death. Then he turned a dial on the wall, and he blasted me because he was hard of hearing.
Yeah. I
Out
didn't
of
realize
the
that.
theater. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. And I turned around to him, and I said, you know something? I think it's time for me to go home now.
Yeah.
It's late.
Yeah.
Because I was just blown out of the theater. And he said, well, I'm sorry. He said, I am hard of hearing. And he said, I make all my deals in a car because of the vibration. I can hear better when I'm in a car. Can you imagine this great executive running around signing things in a car?
Yeah.
He wouldn't make any deals unless he was in a car. He's a very strange man.
Did he...
A little strange.
Did you have any kind of positive feelings about the guy? I mean, did you enjoy the evening, or was it so peculiar?
I thought he was in love with my dear friend, Linda Darnell. And I went out with him with the idea of asking him if he was serious about Linda.
Yeah.
And he told me that night that he was not, and he was not going to get married.
Yeah.
And that was the main reason I think that I really wanted to go out. I wanted to find out. And I came back and told her, and she just almost had a nervous breakdown because she was madly in love with him.
You know, that's interesting that in his 30s he was kind of an unusual guy, because later in life he really was pretty much just like...
I don't know, David. All I know, the last I heard, he had blankets up in Vegas because he thought the germs were coming in. And
but that's a real piece of Hollywood...
trivia.
Yeah, and history, actually.
But he was a handsome man at that point. He was gorgeous. You know.
Yeah, now...
and rich. Don't forget that.
No, rich. Of course we know rich. Do you want to tell us the story about our assistant here?
Oh.
Is there anything you can tell?
Laurie. No, I can't tell that one, but Laurie...
No, that's the one we want. That's
no,
the one
I
we want
can't
here.
tell that one. Oh, no, you don't.
See,
No,
now, this is Laurie Diamond, who is my assistant on the program. Paul, stop that. And she worked as a dancer in production with you.
And she is a terrific dancer.
Yeah.
And you got one nice gal.
Well, that's why we hired her, because she's a terrific dancer.
I'm very proud of her. Yeah.
Now tell the story. Before we have to mention, we want to mention Roseland.
I can't tell that. It's about Mickey Rooney, and he's so cuckoo that you can't tell that one. That was kind of wild. Maybe Laurie will tell you. Maybe you get her over here to tell you. I don't think she will.
But it was all in good, clean fun, whatever it was?
Yeah, it was kind of. Yeah, you know, she flirted with him a little bit. She got him going.
Now, Ann, when you say got him going, what?
Well, I think it was kind of the drop the pants special. I think he shocked everybody. Larry is now headed for the Boondocks.
The old drop the pants special?
Well, yeah, you know, you dare Mickey.
Wait a minute, come here, Laurie, come here. Wait a minute. She goes up to... She goes up to...
He's going to kill me.
She goes up to Mickey Rooney and says, drop your pants?
No, I think he did it to embarrass her, and he did. No. She's never gotten over it. She's already now, she's out. I think she's gone to Long Beach.
How did she get through personnel is what I want to know. Tell us what's going on over at Roseland.
Well, they were very nice to bring me up here.
It's a big dance hall. It's been
so
a dance
gorgeous.
ballroom for decades.
It used to be, you know, people's ballroom dance and waltz and all. Gone. Now, at night, it's a wild disco. They just spent $1 million renovating. It is absolutely gorgeous. If you're into rock and roll, folks, you got the place.
And you're going to be over there doing
I was
dancing,
over there earlier
visiting?
today at a press reception. I walked in. It's the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life.
Right, it's over on West 50-something
in the
Street.
50s. And I remember that you want to hear a funny, you got time to...
Do we have time for a funny
Otherwise,
story?
I'll pass.
Funny? Yeah, we do have time
for a funny. Well, it's not that funny, but anyway, they asked
then we don't have time for it.
No, oh, yeah, well, no, it's kind of funny. I'll tell you, because it's kind of cute. They asked me if I would give them a pair of shoes, because they were displaying all the big dancers, the famous stars, and so forth. So I went out and bought a size smaller, gorgeous pair of shoes. And I gave it to them, and I had never really danced in them. And they put them in the case. Then the Smithsonian Institute asked me if I would donate my tap shoes, Mo and Joe, who were with me most of my life.
You have names for your shoes.
Mo and Joe. And I said, yes, I will give them my tap shoes. And I gave them for real, Mo and Joe.
Yeah.
Then I got a bad, guilty feeling that I gave Roseland a brand new pair of shoes to display.
So
I finally called the lady up that owned the joint, and I said, you know, I have a confession. I went out and bought a size smaller because I wanted to look cute, a cute foot for everybody to look at.
So you're being indicted, right?
And I said, I am going to give you Frickin' Frack.
Frickin' Frack, who are...
I did, and they're the ugliest looking things you've ever, and they're for real down at Roseland. So when you see my shoes, those shoes shared part of my life. So I did it. Sorry, we're out of time.
Okay. Ann, it's a pleasure to meet you. I hope you get to go to London. We'll be back, folks, after station identification. Welcome back to the show. Gee, Paul, I wonder if we'll ever get to see the old Drop Your Pants special.
We can only hope and pray that we're that lucky.
Let me tell you, it's going to be here tomorrow night. This is another great show tomorrow evening, ladies and gentlemen, so put aside some time to view it in the privacy of your own home. Dick Enberg, for my money, this guy is Money in the Bank. Sportscaster of the Year also from NBC Sports, and comedian Drake Sather and Carl Reiner. Pretty good show, eh?
Great.
Yeah. Pretty good show. Okay. Anything else we ought to cover? No, let's go. Our next guest admits to being a little loopy, and we have every reason to believe him. He will be seen this Thursday night as a guest star on Night Court. A good friend. Please welcome comedian Jeff Altman. Nice to have you here. How you doing?
Boy, good.
You have
Real
lunch?
good.
You look like you just had lunch.
No.
Stop that. Why are you making that noise?
Because right now I have. Do you see a little parakeet or a sparrow in my nose right now?
Come here. There's no parakeets, no sparrows.
You know what there is up there sometimes?
No, I don't know what's
Pliers.
up there.
I had pliers one time. Had a giant.
Ever have any duct tape up there?
Yeah, there's been duct tape up there.
What did you just come from having a lunch? You look like you probably had a late lunch today.
Well, I did. I had, I eat late, Dave.
Yeah, you eat a little late. Yeah.
Last time I was on this show, I came out here.
You're
remember
screaming. Just relax.
Sorry.
No.
I'm going out.
No.
I had a butt steak. I had a 15-pound butt steak.
Yeah. You like it, don't you?
I like to eat a nice 22 to 28-pound butt steak.
Uh-huh.
In fact, if it has a little hair left on it, I just like it.
But people wrote in, they said they didn't believe me. They said there's no such thing as butt steak.
Oh, no.
And I do, absolutely. There is such a thing. You can order butt steak when you go out. I've got it right here. You can see it.
Do we have to show
Oh,
these?
absolutely. There I am. It's at Adam's Restaurant in Encino eating a nice...
now you plug?
No, I'm not plugging. I'm not
Got a
plug.
weasel a plug in here?
Well, I'm a weasel.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell, did you ride that thing in? So, nice to have you back in town. What have you been doing since you've been here?
Somebody told a story on Brush with Greatness tonight that was amazing and coincidental.
Coincidental.
Remember, 2 nights ago, I was in town. I didn't feel real good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was feeling down. I needed to get a rub down. I wanted to get, and so I had a couple of butt steaks. And I went to this place called Ed's Uptown Rub Down. And I went in there, and these guys, that work on you like this, were like, hey. Big neck.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know. They can't wear, ties don't fit them. They start working on me, and after in there about 5 minutes, somebody else comes in, but it sounds like it's more than one person. And I tried to look up.
Might be a family.
They had two tables in the center, and I can't get my head up. The guy keeps pushing my head in.
No, just stay down there. Stay down right there. Stay down. Let me just rub you up, okay?
After they're working on this guy about 5 minutes, this is exactly what I hear. The guy next to me goes,
Hey, buddy. Hey, didn't I tell you? Don't touch the rifle.
No, I'm not kidding.
Yeah. This is not another Mickey Rooney story, is it?
No, this is the true story. And they continue working on the guy a little longer, and all of a sudden I hear this, and I'm not exaggerating.
That's a sea lion.
No. They keep it up, and once again the guy goes,
Look, pal, I told you. I came in here. I said, don't touch the rifle.
Yeah, don't touch the rifle.
So apparently he only took a half an hour. He only took a half an hour because he left, and I couldn't resist. I sat straight up on the thing, and I looked. It was Chuck Connors and his dog.
Chuck Connors and his dog are getting a rub down in the same place you're getting a rub down.
You don't believe...
The star of Rifleman, Chuck Connors.
Take a look at this. Take a look. If you think I'm kidding.
Look at what?
You know, there's really 2 things I love in this world. My rifle and my dog. You treat them right, they'll treat you right. Now, you take man's best friend here. He can get stiff and sore just like us. So whenever I get a rub down, I take Micah here along. Oh, sure, he makes some noise, but that's just because he's having fun.
Yeah, what about the rifle?
Didn't I tell you, son, don't ever touch the rifle? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, there you go. What more proof could you want?
Boy, I'll tell you.
I'm sorry I doubted you.
Yeah.
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 What, did you watch The Rifleman as a kid? You a big Chuck Connor fan?
I loved all those shows. And so you know, my favorite show's been canceled. They canceled the A-Team here.
Is that right? It's gone?
I think they have, and apparently they're spinning something off. There's a new show now. They're taking Mr. T and making him a gynecologist from Beverly Hills. It's called Dr. T.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that? Say, fool, put them legs up there. Let me take a look at that. Hey, fool.
Yeah, the butt steak. So what else you been doing? What else is new in your life? Anything interesting?
Well,
Anything exciting?
Well, you know, I'm a history buff.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know that.
You know that. I studied,
yeah, of course I knew
years
that.
and years.
Sure
I studied
yeah.
history at Oxford.
And
there've been some things in Dallas that have been going wrong. They've been grave robbers and stuff.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Well, this was in the paper for a while. They thought they had taken the body of Lee Harvey Oswald, and there was no way to prove it. And then they finally had to disinter the body.
He was exhumed, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And they opened. And as soon as they opened the casket, they knew it was him. Had that same stupid look on his face.
No.
Okay, it's a little sick.
Yeah.
Do you see a little sickness in my nose?
Oh, God. Other hobbies? You doing a lot of traveling?
Oh,
Anything
yeah,
else?
lots of traveling.
Yeah? You got a gig you want to mention?
No, I have nothing. I won't be working until the late 90s, probably.
No, you must have a gig. Make one up.
No, I'm not.
No,
doing
you'll be at the Crackers in Indianapolis next week.
Yeah, Crackers in Indianapolis next week.
It's not true, but we have to have a little gig to end the segment.
Something to say.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
Thanks.
Careful of your hand there. I know you
right,
get that wound. It's Jeff Altman, and we'll be back with Phyllis Hyman.